What's going on, guys, and welcome to bullgearrc videos. So today we are back to working on the SCX24 project truck that JD Passel sent to us. We started this build in the last video, and in the last video I said I was going to be using this RC four-wheel drive Gelande II D90 body set. This is a 1/18 scale body set, and the interior. So as you can see, we have this thing very well mounted to our SCX24 chassis, including the interior. So I thought this would be a good stopping point to show you all just how I installed this, and maybe you can, if you're going to do this yourself, maybe you can get some tips or pointers from how I did it. So let's get into it. So our first hurdle was getting around this big old Fury Tech Komodo motor and transmission with the interior. But as you can see, we got that guy to sit in there just nicely. It comes right up to the front of the console in the center between where the seats will go. Seats will go right here. So yeah, she fit right up in there nicely. And let me show you what we did. Alright, so looking at this guy from the bottom, this is our little interior tray, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Luckily, there were some lines here and here from the manufacturing process, and I just kind of followed those lines around with the die grinder. It just kind of hacked this thing out, but I went all the way back to the center column, and I did have to go a little bit deep into the center column here to clear the pinion gear. And then also you'll see a couple holes here. I cut those holes out with my little body reamer, and I'll show you why. So these little nuts right here on either side is why I cut those out, those holes with the body reamer. I wanted to get that thing down just as low as I could get it, and by putting holes for these nuts to poke through here, it gave me, you know, a couple more millimeters. Now looking at the wheelbase, it was almost just like they made this thing in a way to fit on this SCX24 chassis, because with the transmission right up against the center column, the wheelbase came out just right. So the next thing we had to do was mount the body. And here in the back, what I did is I used the C10 body hinges, and I put them on upside down. And if you're familiar with those, that would have meant there would have been a post sticking down in this area. So I cut that post off, trimmed up around these screws, and next I cut the ends off of these hinges because, as you can see, there are taillight lenses that go in this area on both sides, so we had to leave room for them. And then I went ahead and used some styrene, and I don't know if we can see or not, but there's actually some mounting screw holes here and here, and I went ahead and drilled through the styrene and put screws into that area to hold them in place. And let me show you the styrene that I used. Alright, so this is the styrene I used. It is 188 by 188 square stock, 4 strips of it. It's pretty basic stuff. Just cut off a piece of it. So the next little detail here was getting the ride height correct in the back. And as you can see right here, there's a little bit of a lip. And I found if I put that even with the bottom of the body, that the ride height came out pretty good. So once I figured out where to put it, then I went ahead and took the hinges off of the frame, and I went ahead and glued them on to the body. You can use, you know, some Tamiya cement. You can use some, you know, plastic weld. I think I used a Tamiya cement on the back, and then I used plastic weld in the front. I just happened to have both of them with me. All right, moving on to the front. I used the body mount that came with the little Jeep, and I just cut off the little body post that was here in the center, and I used my body reamer and reamed out a couple holes just big enough so I could press some magnets into it. And then I crazy glued them in. And then up here, as you can see, I just took a couple pieces of this square stock styrene because that's what I had with me, and I glued those together. Did the same thing. I drilled out, and I went ahead and stuck a couple magnets in there. And then what I did was I just put this down like this without the screws in the sides of the body mount, and then I stuck a magnet up here to put everything in place and hold it there until all the glue dried. And then once the glue was dry, then I was able to come back inside, put my screws in. Everything kind of lined up pretty good, and as you can see, she's mounted pretty nicely, guys. She's mounted pretty nicely. But anyhow, on to the next things that we're going to be doing to this. Next step will be electronics install. Then we got to paint this thing, put all the details back on it, and maybe next video we'll show you something done. Until next time, old Uncle Lee, bullgearrc video said, I'll see ya.